What's up guys, my name is Tyler. I own a power washing company called Hydro Power Exterior Cleaning. And today I want to explain how I started with zero money out of my own pocket. And now obviously we're buying new trucks, hiring more people, and growing every day, month over month. Things are looking up for us, so I want to explain how I started with none of my own money, how you can do the same exact thing. There's nothing special about me. If I did it, you can do it too. So stick around for tips, tricks, nuggets, and stuff like that. And subscribe to the channel if you want to keep watching me grow my business and sharing, tips and tricks especially for starting out, because that was very hard for me. I wish there was someone like me on YouTube when I was starting out, so I'm going to try to be that person for you guys. So what do I mean when I say that I started my business with no money out of my pocket? Let's go back to how it all started, actually. My dad had bought a little electric pressure washer, and we're sitting there doing the front walkway in the patio, and my dad says, I bet people would pay for this. I've always been a very entrepreneurial kid. I've done little side jobs. I always had a job growing up. My dad's an entrepreneur. My brother's an entrepreneur. My uncle. A lot of my family members are entrepreneurs, so I grew up seeing them make their own schedules and make all of the basketball games, make all the baseball games, all that kind of thing. So I always knew that I wanted to work for myself. I never really knew what I would end up doing though. So my dad brings home this little electric pressure washer. We're doing the front walkway. Eventually we have the idea for the business, and my dad does graphics, logos, signs, stuff like that. So he instantly made me a logo, which made it feel more legit than it really was, because now I had a brand, right? It was called Hydro Power, of course, like it's still called today. And I went ahead and sold my first customer, who was my uncle. Actually, I didn't really sell him at all. He more sold himself to me. He told me that he'd give me $500 to wash his whole house. And to me at 17 years old, that's all the money in the world. I couldn't believe someone was gonna pay $500 for a house wash, and he let me borrow his power washer. So I went ahead and power washed, actually pressure washed his entire house rather than soft washing. There's a ton of stucco, looking back, I should have done it differently, but I didn't. You don't know everything in the beginning. You don't know what you don't know, I guess you could say. But anyway, my uncle lets me borrow his machine, and maybe I have to buy gas and a little bit of chemical. So let's say we're like plus $450 on the business now. So we've come out of pocket almost no money, and I have $450. After that, I went ahead and borrowed my grandpa went ahead and gave me his old power washer. So of course I had a little bit of luck in the beginning with my family members actually having power washers. But if you're looking at me and saying, oh dude, I can't do that, I don't have anyone who's just gonna let me borrow it, dude, ask around. Ask your friends, ask your family if they have a machine that you can borrow, and go sell a job, go door knock or something, and get your first job. Even if you can't get a friends and family job, just shout it from the mountaintops that you're starting this business, and you'll be surprised how much people want to support you. So that's how you can get your first customer. I got mine through friends and family, but anyway, my grandpa let me start borrowing his machine, and I went ahead and did one of my dad's friend's house for like $400 or $350 or something like that. It's nowhere in the positive, like $700 to $800, somewhere in that ballpark. And I've still not really spent any money on the business. This is when I started buying equipment with the money that I had already made. So at this point, we're up like $700, $800, and I start buying equipment for the business, hoses, not reels yet, but cheap stuff, hoses, little shitty downstream injector, tiny surface cleaner, with the money that I had already made running the business, but using borrowed equipment. If you can't borrow equipment, this is also something that I just thought of. You can rent equipment. You can go sell a job and then rent a power washer from Home Depot. Say you sell the job for $300, you rent it for $100 for the day, and then you just made your first $200 in profit. A lot of people overthink things and think, oh, I need to buy $10,000 setup. It's not, that's not how you have to start at all. At first, I even borrowed a truck for my first couple jobs. Before I bought my first Chevy S10, which I'll pop a picture of up right here, for like $2,400, I think. I was borrowing my grandpa's Honda Ridgeline and driving that job to job, unloading everything out of the trunk until I started, until I bought the truck and I started getting nicer hoses, nicer reels, a 12-volt system so I could do more jobs. But I just reinvested every penny back into the business, and that's definitely what you guys should do if you're just starting out as well. So that's pretty much how I did it. I tend to ramble in these videos a lot, so I'm not sure if there was a great storyline aspect to that. But in conclusion, try to borrow or rent your equipment at first, sell a couple jobs so you're instantly in the green with your business. You're instantly plus money. and making a profit, turning a profit in your business, rather than dumping a ton of money into equipment and then not being able to sell your first couple jobs. Get the jobs first, then borrow equipment, find out how you're gonna do it, learn from YouTube, free courses, anything you can find. Always be educating yourself. But if you're just starting out, a couple of good ways to get new customers are, number one, friends and family. Number two, door knocking. And number three, I would say door hangers actually, or yard signs. So you can get them both pretty cheap, 20, 40, 60 bucks, whatever you have to spend. But if you're getting a $200 to $1,000 power washing job out of it, it's kind of a no-brainer. So get a logo, get a strong brand established, which is a whole nother thing. I can make a separate video on that later, the strength of a good brand, if you'd like. But get door hangers, get yard signs, start knocking doors, get jobs, and then get the equipment if you need to. Especially if you have no money at all, definitely sell the jobs first and then borrow equipment, rent equipment, until you have enough money made in the business to actually start dumping it into nicer equipment. So guys, that's what I did. That's what I think you should do. If you have any questions or anything like that, or any video ideas for me as well, drop them in the comments. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the next one. Subscribe to keep watching me grow my business and tips and tricks for starting or growing a power washing business. And I will see you guys later.